Alright, now for the moment of truth. You want to see what this thing actually came up as. Checking the air to fuel ratio. And as it turns out, it's very linear throughout the power band. There was a change. It is running lean for the entire band, but it's only out by about 1 point. And what that means is you can actually run the Yoshimura exhaust without any major tuning needed to be done. So that's good news for all of us Z650 guys. If you go with Yoshimura, the exhaust is tuned appropriately. Now, that is still running lean, but it is not enough to cause any major failure or damage to the bike. So if you don't want to get a fuel controller or engine management system, you don't have to. Now, what Freddie's telling me here is, by seeing how consistent it is across the board, that he feels pretty sure that just by changing the fuel map, he can probably correct it to be in the right range that it needs and gain maybe an additional 2 horsepower out of that. So that's super good news. But I'm going to be going with the rapid bike system, which will allow for changing of the ignition and the timing. And beyond the fuel map, that should be a considerable amount of gains. But let's skip all that. Let's talk about what you guys really want to know. What were the gains? Now, he was having trouble with his printer actually printing the results out, so I have to go back there tomorrow to actually pick up my piece of paper. But the stock value was 58.5 for horsepower, and the torque was 42.4. Now, that's the one we did a couple weeks ago. Today, after the Yoshimura was put on, the air to fuel ratio we just talked about, the horsepower gain was 62.7 horsepower. That is 4.2 horsepower gain. The torque went up to 44.8, I believe it was. So that's 2.5 almost foot-pounds of torque we gained. That is a considerable change. That is over a 7% horsepower and over 5% torque gain. That's more than what Yoshimura has claimed. I'm really excited about that. That's awesome. You can't beat that. So once the rapid bike system gets on, we do the fuel tuning, and then the ignition and timing, I would say we'll be at the upper 60s, might even break 70 with this bike. And that is a huge gain. That will be over, 10 to 12 horsepower gain across the board, and then the weight reduction from losing the exhaust and the smog system. So a lot of performance can be had for very little on this bike. So if you want a good exhaust system, best bang for the buck is going to be the Yoshimura so far that I can tell. If you can get other manufacturers to release their dyno sheets, go for it. But I highly recommend, if any of you guys have questions, comments, concerns, talk to these guys right here, Superbike Unlimited. Go to their website. If you have the Ninja 650 or the Z650, you want to do exactly what we're doing to this one, they're going to be the guys to talk to, because as of now, I don't think anyone else is really doing this, not in the US anyway. So with that being said, guys, I appreciate everybody watching. If you enjoy the videos, be sure to subscribe. Stay tuned for the next step in this adventure. I will be scanning and posting the dyno results from today on Tremonte.tv tomorrow. The old results are already on there in the gallery, and I'm also going to be adding a tuning section just for this bike on the website. So keep an eye out in the next couple days. There's going to be a step-by-step process of video, write-up, product, everything that's been done. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks. Ride safe.